I'm Jessica Rule, founder and CEO of SHK, the advertising firm. Today I wanted to take some time to sit down and talk about some of my best tips and tricks for advertising and go over some frequently asked questions that I receive about creating a brand and deciding where to advertise, because in today's world there are so many options. I know it can be overwhelming to decide what's right for you. And before we get started, I just want to preface this with there's not one solution, not one tip that's going to work for everyone. What you need to do to really reach people for your company is going to vary greatly on what industry you're in and what audience you're trying to reach. So as I kind of talk about different mediums that I like, think about the audiences that I'm saying these are good for, and if that sounds like someone that's typically in your storefront or buying your products, then that might be something that you would like to try as well. And a lot of times when I have people come in, one of the first things I ask them is, who are you trying to target? Because that's really going to direct the rest of our conversation and direct our marketing plan. And a lot of the time I hear people say, I want to market to everyone. Anyone can be my customer. And while I understand that you want to be able to market to anyone, you would want anyone that wants your product to come to you, realistically, to best optimize your advertising dollars, we want to get specific. We want to really own in on who's the best ideal customer, who's the most likely to use your product, and that way we're not just throwing money everywhere. Now, if you're Coca-Cola or Chick-fil-A or someone with a huge marketing budget, yes, you can market to everyone. But for our smaller companies and most of us, to really reach the people that are most likely to come into our store or most likely to buy our products, we want to get pretty specific to see the best results. With that being said, I will go to our first question, which is newspaper a good medium to advertise in, or is it really dying? My answer to that is newspaper is great, but it depends on your target audience. If you're wanting to reach a mature audience, say you're a doctor's office or a senior home, then newspaper is going to be great for you. The thing about newspaper is your audience is going to stay the same pretty much day to day. So your first couple of times of placing an ad, you'll most likely see a good increase if people are interested, but you will see that really slow down as people already know about your service or your product. So you'll see a good increase, but then it might slow down just because you're constantly reaching the same people. So for newspaper, I would say it's nice because you don't necessarily need to run as frequently. And just also know that you're reaching an older demographic and you're going to be reaching the same people each time. Next, what about online? That seems to be so popular now. Is that worth my advertising dollars? Opposite from newspaper, online is going to reach a much younger audience for the most part. Now you still do have your older demographic. A lot of people want to keep up with their grandchildren and whatnot. But for the most part, you're going to see, from teenagers to 40s is the main demo. And Instagram, it gets even younger. So junior high, high school, it's really saturated with their demographic. The thing I absolutely love about online is we can get extremely specific. So I recently did a bridal expo and we did a lot of online advertising, and they were able to use the same amount of advertising budget that they did years before, but had record audience in a declining economic area. So we've had a really rough year economically, but they still had turnout attendance, which is really rare right now for us in Midland. And the reason is we were able to be extremely strategic in where we spent their dollars. So we did a lot of Facebook, some Instagram, and Google AdWords. And we really targeted brides, newly engaged people and their families, and definitely concentrated on females. And with that, we were able to see in real time who is interested, what are they doing with our ads, and we were able to adjust it accordingly and really catch that audience and catch their friends and other people that might want to attend. Next, and I hear this question a lot from realtors, are billboards a good medium, or are people just really stroking their ego by putting their face on a big billboard where everyone can see it? Billboards are great, and this is something, again, that I think with wherever you choose to advertise, your creative really depends on your brand. So for some realtors that have been around for a long time, or they're very involved in their community and very recognizable, their face can be a very great strategy for them. However, for newer realtors or people that are new to town that people don't really know, billboard's not going to be ideal for them to put their face, but they might be able to do a different type of design that still catches their ideal audience. And another thing with billboards and everything, it's all about placement. So you can have the same creative and have it in a different location and get very different results. You can have the same location and have very different designs and have different results. And so that's really where working with a professional that knows how you want to talk to your audience is going to really benefit you. Next, budget. What should I be spending on advertising? This is such a hard one. I have a lot of people come in and say, I don't know what to spend, I have no idea, you tell me. And I mean, the industry standard is 3 to 5% of your net revenue. As a new business owner, I've been around for a year. I know that can be extremely scary for new businesses, especially maybe you don't even know what you're going to be making. So I would definitely say, kind of consider that as a gauge, but then go with what you're comfortable with. Maybe you start out smaller and see what happens, get comfortable with it. Maybe you want to start out big so you can really see the needle move. Either way, what you're comfortable with ideally is going to be best. But you can know that the industry standard is 3 to 5% of your net revenue. And lastly, what is my best advice? What do I think is most important? And the thing that I think, there's not necessarily one key that's going to make you successful, but it's a combination of things. So definitely, like I mentioned, creative is key. You need something that's going to be eye-catching. The world is so cluttered these days, so you want something that in seconds is going to catch your potential client's attention, and they're going to want to hear more or see more. Next is the message. When you're creating your brand, think about who you're speaking to. So if I'm a realtor that's selling $1 million plus homes, my message is going to look very different than a realtor that's selling starter homes. So for the starter home realtor, I want to be very relationship driven. I want to be as friendly as possible. I want to say, I'm going to hold your hand through the whole buying process and make it easy for you. Just make it as smooth as possible. Now for the $1 million homes, we can focus more so on the quality, the quick turnarounds, because they've been through the process before. They just want good service. They expect, custom. We can go with some beautiful images, kind of go that route. And if you're established, that might be something where you do use your face because they want someone they know that's been in the industry. So your creative, your message, and then also your placement. So not only the location or the medium you're doing, but getting as strategic as possible in directing it to the right people and getting it in front of the right people. So if you decide, okay, I want to do a magazine. Well, which magazine are you doing? What size ad are you doing? And what are you by? Are you, say you're a baby store, maybe I want to be by the newborns announcements. Really get as strategic as possible to get in front of as many eyes as you can that are going to be interested in what you're selling. That is all for my first set of frequently asked questions, but I will be doing this again, so if there's something that I didn't cover today that you are dying to know, please don't hesitate to email me. I'll put my information at the bottom of the screen. And thank you for joining me today. I hope to help you more to get seen, heard, and known.